Hello and welcome to all you Aquarians. Welcome for your monthly horoscope for Aquarius for February 2016. And some of you, happy birthday, you Aquarians. Happy birthday for some of you. And let's have a look. What kind of month is February? I think it's a month, it's a kind of in-between months because a lot is happening next month with the eclipses and Jupiter squaring up to Saturn, a lot of important aspects. So it's a kind of a preparing month, preparing for that, and but that nevertheless that's even as important to prepare yourself. Now I want to do these horoscopes in a bit more in a broader perspective. That's a bit I think my Sagittarius rising that wants that, because we deal with so many retrogrades this year. I think not three but four retrogrades of Mercury and also a Mars retrograde, which is not uncommon. But we start with so many retrograde in January, so that is like the launching of the year. And with that, I want to have a bit of a broader perspective and seeing other months as well, involving them with the month of February, so that people understand better why things are happening the way they are happening. So let's get started with you Aquarius. First of all, there's a new moon in your sign. It's the only new moon you're gonna have this year in your sign, which is on the 8th. So that's something to look forward to, because it's like new energy, new stuff coming in. It's like a new beginning. It's like your new personal new year. And with fresh energy, maybe some things that happen that change a little bit your direction, or there are coming insights, absolutely, around. So keep your eyes open around the 8th of the month. But the most important thing I want to talk about is a Mars in Scorpio. Why? Because it's normally 6 weeks to 2 months in a sign, and now it's in Scorpio now. It's in the highest point of your horoscope. I'll explain it in a minute. But so it has been there in January, now fully of February. Then it goes into your 11th house in Sagittarius, and then it goes backwards into that 10th house where it is now. So this is a clue here. This shows that as from the end of May up until August, you will deal with the same stuff that you're dealing with now. And Mars is about what we're dealing with, what we are, our intentions, our desires. There's a lot of desire. There's a lot of intention going on with 10th house issues. For most of us, that's work, in general, that's work. It could also be for women amongst you. It can be your status that changes with Mars there, maybe becoming a mom or maybe becoming married. Sometimes I forget to mention that. It's not always work. So keep that in mind, that has to do with it as well. So these areas, your social status, when you're married or having a child, these are important things that it changes our status, doesn't it? But also work. So in these areas, Mars is longer than normal in that particular area of your life. So for Aquarians, it shows that there is a big emphasis this year on these things that I just mentioned. Now the Mars in Scorpio is very profound, very deep. It has strong desires, very deeply. So probably some Aquarians have strong desires for changing their social status, or for changing their jobs, or launching a new business. And if that is the case, you will. There's good chance, a great opportunity to do so if you have patience. If you don't want it all to happen in February. That's why I'm explaining this in a bit of a broader perspective, because otherwise you could have thought, I've done so much in February and it didn't give me any, nothing happened. But it's like a building stone that you're doing. For the results will be seen a bit later on in the year, surely around August time. So it demands a little bit more of patience towards these things. But now is a good time to plan whatever you need to do to accomplish what you want to accomplish on these areas. Let's say it's work, for instance. If there is something going on there that is keeping up the appearances, that is a bit flu. When it comes to work, you're not gonna be content anymore, and you're going to act on it. Because Mars in Scorpio wants authenticity, it wants realness, it wants reality, and it wants to dig deep, and it wants to put its teeth into it so it can achieve that. And it wants to plan strategically in order to accomplish that. Now, Scorpio is also a sign of doing things a bit in secret, doing things a bit behind the scenes. Now, I know that has a negative connotation, but if you want, the good interpretation of this is that sometimes we need to do things a bit behind the scenes, because otherwise we will not accomplish what we want. For instance, to take that example of job, if you want to have another job, it's not an intelligent thing to spread that around your colleagues or to say that to your current boss. You could be fired, and then, you know, it's a more difficult situation. But it doesn't mean to say that you're doing wrong. You are trying to be more authentic, and you're having your responsibility there, because Juno is there as well, traveling through the 10th house. Juno is the commitment asteroid. So you are very committed towards work, and you want to do it the right way. And that is good. But yes, it can demand a bit of work behind the scenes to look for another job, because you need to prepare yourself. And that is like the strategy that is best for you at the moment, it seems to be, to plan things. So you can, because Mars is going to jump into Sagittarius next month. So that means that you're going to feel more fiery about new aspirations, and maybe you already have accomplished a little thing in February and you see it now, and you have the vision, but then you will come back to it in May, the end of May, to fine tune it and to, to fine tune and to make it happen, you know. So it's probably not the month where everything is going to change, but it's going to be a month where you certainly can make some steps towards the change you want, and that will come later on in the year. And it's a very passionate desire that you have, you know, that Mars and Scorpio, we all are, we all have something very strong desire in us, you know, but it depends on where that Mars is situated, that it's going to reveal itself. So the same with your position in life. Your position in life, you want it to change, you want it to be real. And so it's a good time to do so if you're not too hasty, if you take your time, because a Mars retrograde, in my opinion, is positive, because it shows that you are going for quality, not quantity. And the quality will come. Again, a bit later on, if you do your work now, if you do that planning, that working, maybe a bit behind the scenes, but for a good cause. I mean, an employer that keeps someone, an employee, which is not really willing, it's not positive either. So you are, if you're planning to go away from another job, that is actually good for that employer as well. He might panic because it's in the moment happening, and oh, who is going to do that work? But later on, that employer is better off because you were not into the job anymore. So this is about authenticity. This Mars in Scorpio, and I think you like it. Now, another thing which is great is Venus in your sign. Venus, as from the 18th, is going to be in your sign. Also, a lot of planets will be coming into your sign already. You know, the Sun in the beginning of the month, and also Mercury. So this is all that you feel like you've got it a bit more under control, you could say, and you feel like you don't have to do too much in order for people to come to you, in order for, even if when you have your own business, for instance, you have to do a bit less and people still come to you, or it can mean even when it comes to love, it's good with Venus in your sign. I mean, you don't have to do too much. People come to you again. That's good for when you're single or when you're in a relationship. So you are, it's also a good time, especially after the 18th, to buy some new clothes, to do your hair, to pamper yourself a little bit. to buy some makeup if you're a woman, or to buy some, I don't know, a beautiful pen if you're a man to write, whatever. So it's a nice time as well, certainly after the 18th, and when it comes to love, and when it comes to loving yourself a little bit more and not minding that at all. So have a very, very good month, you Aquarians. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best. I wish you a very, very strong month, and see you next month. Bye bye.